Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hello, 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 hello. You got me? Hello, 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 hello. 3 days in a row with hockey for the DU Women's ACHA team starting tonight here at Magnus Arena. It's the 3-10 Pioneers out of Denver University against the Grand Canyon Antelopes, who enter at 5-5. These two teams faced off earlier this year. They were certainly lopsided games, 10-0 and 8-1 in favor of Grand Canyon. However, this Denver University team has certainly hit a different stride as they have moved along during this season. After starting 0-9, they've won 3 of their last 4 games and have improved to 3-10. They've been playing much better hockey, and hopefully they could prove that they can hang with this really good Antelopes team that started 5-1, but they have dropped 4 in a row. Last week losing a couple of games at Utah, who DU will be playing in a little bit, but they have 2 of the top scorers in all of ACHA, including the top scorer in terms of points per game. That's Abigail Brigg, who is averaging 1.7 points a game. They have 3 of the top 6 scorers in this division. We have the national anthem right now. We'll be right back with Puck Drop. All right, Puck Drop coming up here at Magnus Arena, the home of the Denver Pioneers. I'm Zach Goodman here on Price Productions. Excited to bring you another great hockey game. Again, this DU team has been playing great of late, and one of the main contributors to their success recently has been Reese Olson. Reese Olson, 3 goals in her last 3 games, including the last time that they played here at Magnus Arena. She scored twice. Look for 22 in white and red to hopefully make an impact tonight. I already mentioned Abigail Brigg earlier and what she's been able to do this season so far. I also mentioned that in the division, 3 of the top 6 point getters in this division are on this Grand Canyon team. Alyssa Volman as well as Haley Gray. They are some really dangerous forwards that the GCU team likes to put out there quite a bit. They got a big roster. They'll be going through a ton of players, and this DU team is going to have to get off to a hot start and try to hang in there with a really tough Antelope squad. Last time out, a loss for the Pioneers. They lost 6-3 at CSU. It was 3-3 after 2 periods, but in the third they gave up 3 goals, got outshot 22-7. So it was a game that they were right in, could have gone any way as they head into the third, but unfortunately they lost their stride there. They're going to hopefully get it back today. Molly Erickson, out there with Hannah Bourbon, Lily Moravchik, Pekala, and Brennan on the backside for the Pioneers. Pioneers going left to right to left on your screen for the Antelopes. Face-off won by the Pioneers, but quickly stolen away as Briggs, as we talked about, that's the top scorer, number 17 in black and purple. This is intercepted, brought right back into the zone, and sent back into center ice after juggling around for a moment. This Grand Canyon team can skate. They've got skill, and they really can score. Across the Pioneer line now, darting in, and traffic in front is knocked away. Samantha Brennan takes it out, throws it around and off the boards, and she is taken down hard. That is going to be a quick penalty. Hannah Bourbon slings it towards the net, and it's collected by Zalhalka, which will stop the puck. That was Abigail Brigg, the top scorer, who just laid out Brennan there across the boards. And she will head to the box just 42 seconds into this one. So we'll get a look at the power play for the Pioneers, see if they could get some ozone time and some shots on net. They really struggled to get a ton of shots off earlier this year when they played Grand Canyon. Again, that was a different team, a team that had not won a game yet. Now they're winners of 3 of the last 4. Not sure what we're waiting on. Now we're ready. And the power play has begun. Goes to Reese Olson, a win for the Pioneers. Brennan back to Olson. They're playing pitch and catch. Now it's Pekala. Great find to Olson. She's got some space near the low dot. Centering pass! And Katz just missed the net on the redirection. Excellent opportunity passing by the Pioneers. That's about as good as they've moved the puck on the power play this season. Hannah Bourbon goes down to the ice. No call. Reese Olson collects in the corner. Olson fires above the glove. And up against the boards, Pekala retrieves. Really good look so far. Sends it towards net, tipped. Rebound, and Olson couldn't get to it. Brennan strong on the puck to her deep partner with Pekala. Pekala walking in. Across to Olson, found the seam. She shoots from a sharp angle and missed the net again. Very similar to the shot she had earlier in the power play. She scored a goal almost identical from that location last week, and she had been trying to pick that corner. Bourbon finds Pekala. Wrist shot off the pad of the goaltender. And into the corner. In net today, Samantha Mayberry for the Antelopes. This has been an outstanding power play. Tons of opportunities already. 42 seconds left in the kill for the Antelopes. Sent on net, but just wide rather by Katz. Pekala is able to pinch at the boards, and it's ripped out of the zone. And they will have to go collect. Gabby Hardy, the lone goal scorer when these two teams played earlier this year, was tripped up again, no call. Pekala has some pressure put on her. That's Armin out there. Really good forecheck on the penalty kill. Just 5 seconds left for the Antelopes to kill off, and then Briggs will be out of the box, and here she comes. Really good looks on the power play, though, for the Pioneers. One of their better executed ones this season. Just could not get it past Mayberry. Moravchik walking in. That's on net. Closing the door is Mayberry with the pad save. Hardy sends it right back to the net, and covering up is Mayberry. Swijek was right there. So now we'll see that top line again get out there for the Antelopes. Team that's 5-5, started 5-1. Losers of 4 straight. 3 of their 5 losses this year have been to the University of Arizona. And now we have a bit of a break. Oh, off the stick and just out of the reach of Aaliyah Finch. She centers it, and it's intercepted by O'Leary. That was a breakaway for Aaliyah Finch. Had she been able to catch that puck, O'Leary storming into the zone. That's taken away from her. So Halka on the puck. And darting up the other way, the Antelopes go. In the corner, that's Crick after the puck. And then off of a couple skates, Charlotte Katz couldn't come up with it. Big hit behind the net, and that's going to be a penalty on the Pioneers. So it's going to be a power play opportunity for the Antelopes early in this one. No score, 16-11. 5 shots in this game, all for the Pioneers. The last time these two teams played, just 9 shots the entire game for Denver. They have 5, and we're not even 4 minutes into this one yet. Alyssa Volman will take the draw. One back for the Antelopes. Sahalka has been out there on the penalty kill. Now she's out there on the power play. Right-handed slap shot on the one-timer. Gobbled up. First shot on net, 11 seconds into the power play. And a nice save. Schaefer in net for the Pioneers tonight. Zahalka, good pass, ripping a shot on that. Schaefer's there to deny. Leah Schaefer, and a couple really nice saves there as the Antelopes can really rip the puck, especially on this first unit. Zahalka to the puck. He sends it up to Brigg. Brigg on the left wing. Throws on the brakes, spins around. Gives to Zahalka, pressure on her. She sends it around. This is on net, and it's denied. Volman with it. Back up to the point. Great pass across to Zahalka. She tries to center. It's off the skate of Piccola and into the corner. Here's Volman again. The shot is deflected a couple of times as it worked its way through. Didn't quite get to the net. That's Graybill out there. Zahalka on the blue line. Gives to Graybill. Graybill walking in. Pass was a shot pass, looking for deflection right on the ice. It was in the skates. The Pioneers have done a nice job denying the slot in this power play. A lot of ozone time for the Antelopes, but their shots have come at either tough angles or from really deep. They've denied the middle of the ice. Dancing around Zahalka. Shot off the side of the net. That was ripped. Walking right into the dot. Gave back off and pulled away and down to the ice. Good effort from Gabby Hardy. She loses her stick. Wrap around. No, it gets poked away. Zahalka collects, wheels around the net, fires it on net, and Leah Schaefer is there to deny. So the power play is over. 14:10 remaining in the first period. No score. Shots are 5-4 in favor of Denver. All 9 shots in this game have come on the power play. See the captain for the Pioneers, Swijek, in the face-off dot. Knocked away Brennan. Right there. Goes to Armin. Armin underneath. That's Sorensen. Sorensen sends it up high. This gets deflected on the way through off of Bonello's stick. Circle around. Battled for at the wall. Hannah Bourbon gets a stick in. Now it's Brennan. Pioneers trying to escape their own zone. Now they could have numbers if they hurry. Hannah Bourbon tosses it right around Pinello, and now it's slammed off the wall. Swijek cutting in. Collision in front. Sharoon comes up with the puck. Sharoon from the dot. It's blocked. She had a ton of time to load that up, waiting for a possible breakaway with Aaliyah Finch. She almost had one earlier. Molly Erickson shoved into the boards. Now the puck comes around. Charlotte Katz trying to keep it into the zone. She's wrestling down there with Sorensen. Volman right there as well. Sharoon gives to Bourbon. She tried to fire on net. Now it's Erickson. Her shot easily sticked away. And sent the length of the ice. That's going to be an icing. So the Pioneers will have an ozone draw with some tired legs out there. .1250 remaining in this first period. Won by the Pioneers. Pekala has been playing some great hockey lately. She sends it around and back behind the net. Given off for Bonello. Bonello to Sorensen off of her stick. Good stick lift. Gets it out of the zone. Pekala in the neutral zone. Sends it back towards the Antelope zone. Picked off Kyla O'Leary. Walking in above the slot. Shoots and it's denied. Here's a chance for Brennan. It is tied away. Sherling, rather, was on the puck there. Pekala trying to deny the entry. Trick is offsides as he tried to enter the zone. And they did not start the clock here, I believe. 12:10 remaining in the second period. Or the first period, excuse me. I might have read that wrong. That might be on me. Schleining across the blue line. Backhanded attempt to center is denied off of prick stick. Racing after it, Reese Olson. It is one. Back to Hewitt. And down to the ice goes Swyjek. Mansour keeps it into the zone momentarily. Hewitt able to deny that. Schleining sends it off the boards. Hewitt after it. Crick is tied up against the wall. 19 on 19 right there. That's the captain, Swyjek. Wheeled around now. Hewitt pinched off. Mansour stepped up into the play and kept the pressure alive. Lauren Bush behind the net gets a stick on the puck. The forecheck has been excellent for the Pioneers, just winning some board battles and keeping the pressure on the Antelopes here. Haven't allowed them to get set up. This was a lopsided matchup earlier in this season, but it has been evenly played so far, charging right into the zone and getting a stick on that puck to take it away from Sucks. Swyjek to Mansour, over to Erickson on a one-touch pass. Didn't quite get there. Zahalka jumping up into the play. Zahalka squeaks it loose. Abigail Brigg makes the pass. Drop back off for Zahalka, and then Brigg is the one who collects it right to the center pad. Save Schaefer. Best opportunity of the game for the Antelopes. Sucks at it. She's going to go retrieve this missed shot. Centering pass right back to Shuck. She misses the net. Pulled it wide on the near side. Couldn't get a lot on it. Didn't get it off the ice. Brigg is a machine. She's getting every retrieval and denying. That's another save by Schaefer. Didn't locate it immediately. Sucks finds it again. The Antelopes are buzzing. Sent towards the net. It goes off the skate of Katz. And away. Brigg with the puck again. Handing it off to her D partner. Gives it to Zahalka. And Zahalka couldn't come up with it. Brigg rips a shot. And that might have been deflected on the way in. Brigg to Zahalka. One-time pass. And it gets intercepted. Sent the length of the ice by Katz. That was going to be an icing had Mayberry not played that, but she did. That was going wide of the net, and that helps the Pioneers out a little bit. They had been on the ice forever. O'Leary banks it off the wall. The Antelopes return the favor. Sharoon racing towards the puck. Johnson, Ava Johnson will get there first. Here's Alyssa Finch right in front. Ava Johnson, backhand score! What a move for Ava Johnson. 1-0, just past the halfway point in the first period. That was a beautiful play. As you watched Aaliyah Finch jump into the zone, right down the left half wall, and then had a centering pass. Went to the forehand, pulled it back to the backhand, and tucked it in. So, the first lead of the game goes towards the Antelopes. Walking into the zone, that's Armit. Her pass was intercepted by Moravchik. Moravchik sends over to O'Leary. O'Leary's after it. For Johnson, this season, goal number 4, her 6th point of the year. 4 goals, 2 assists for Johnson. Sharoon in a foot race. Volman's going to get there. Takes the puck away from her. Sorensen colliding with Hardy on the boards. And now it's Volman. One-timer. Deflected on the way in by a Pioneer. And an outstanding save by Schaefer. She got the right pad on it. Just incredible hand-eye coordination, or rather hand-pad or eye-pad coordination, if that makes any sense. She was able to locate that deflected puck, made an outstanding save. Pekla tries to spring Katz in front of the net. Didn't work out. Charging right in, that's now Natalia Hui. Reese Olson pokes it, doesn't get out of the zone. Sent towards the net, it goes wide. Swyjek first to it. Pinched off at the boards as Bonello tries to keep it in. right in front, trying to make a drag move to the front of the net. And it got denied. That was Sorensen again. Sorensen's number 8, and she's got her jersey tucked in like Cale McCarr does. You barely see the top of it in the back. Schaefer was on her backside, but there really wasn't a lot of pressure in front of the net. Bonello, puck on her stick, fresh off the bench. Here comes Abigail Brigg into the zone. She cuts towards the center of the ice, backhanded pass, shot, and never got off the ice. Good save by Schaefer. Disciplined. This is a great pass in front, jammed at the side of the net. Fought for and eventually covered up. So after the Pioneers really came out hot in a game where they came off a team that they had played twice, had been outscored 18-1, and they dominated the early goings. They had the first 5 shots on net, but since then it's been 10-1 in shots as the Antelopes have found their footing here at Magnus Arena. One over Haley Gray, another one of the top scorers. These 3 different lines are all scoring. When you look at this Antelopes team, they get production from everywhere as they'll split up Gray, Volman, and Brigg and still get production. Those ladies are lighting up the lamp. Here's Brigg into the zone, fending off a couple of defenders. Hannah Bourbon right on her. Gives off, still pushed up against the boards. Fishing for it as Mansour comes away to Brigg, diving in front. She's tripped up, no call. Sent right back in front from her knees. She tried to deflect it, and I think she did, but it went wide. Kept in the zone, Zahalka. Puck bouncing around, ends up on the stick. And passed in front. Did not go Haley Gray. Had a great setup pass there. Molly Erickson has a stride. She's right in, shoots. And a save made by Mayberry. Shot from the backhand from Hannah Bourbon. Covered up by Mayberry. Best save of the game for her, as Erickson was able to get in after the Antelope defender lost an edge, went down to the ice. Erickson found herself all alone on the right side. Her wrist shot tried to go under the blocker. Didn't quite work out. Charlotte Katz going to win the draw to herself, then get it off to Shirley. Her pass back towards the point was intended for Pekala, but intercepted. Lit out of the reach there, looking for Ava Johnson. Really nice pass there by Gabby Hardy to find Pekala. Start the offense going the other way. Unfortunately intercepted. Pekala jumping up into the play. She can really skate across the Antelope line. She veers into the right wing from the right dot. As it bounced off her stick, Swijek at the line, keeps it in. Gathered by Armit. Armit across the red line. She'll send it deep as the Antelopes need a change. Fresh off the bench, Sorensen. She was flying in, forcing Pekala to move quickly. She slowed things down as O'Leary darts into the Antelope zone. From her own end, sent up and out of the zone by Volman. Now on the puck, it's Huey. Swijek chops it into the zone. Schleining makes D-to-D pass. Sorensen across the blue line. Rips this around the boards. Gabby Hardy has it bounce off her stick as this is rammed up by Lauren Bush to O'Leary. She fanned out, and initially she needed a change. She'll send it deep and get off the ice. Lauren Bush trying to put a little bit of pressure on Grand Canyon. Across the red line, given off to Brigg. Brigg walking right in, a little 2-on-1. Here's a shot and a beautiful save by Schaefer right off her mask. And a penalty is going to be called. Haley Gray can rip it. That was a really quick release. She got it up into the mask as Schaefer can't feel great, but she is going to be all right. And there is a high sticking call. It's going to go against Janae Sucks. And the Pioneers, whose power play looked excellent the first time around, just not able to put one to the back of the net, will have their second opportunity. Hannah Bourbon, little wrist shot, trickled towards the net, didn't get there. Bonello pinning it up against the boards. Pioneers come away with it. Hannah Bourbon circling around. Pekala colliding, gave her a little bit of room. Great seam pass. Almost got to Olsen, who had a wide open backdoor look. Pekala couldn't come up with it. Minute 30 left in this power play for the Pioneers. 3:30 left in the first period. Pekala across the blue line. Zone entry so important on the power play. Bonello comes up with it, and now Grand Canyon sends it the length of the ice off a Bonello stick, and they'll get a change. Volman, one of the top goal scorers for GCU, also on the penalty kill right now. So I saw Halka running the power play from the defensive side for Grand Canyon earlier. She's on the penalty kill as well. Trying to gain some momentum the other way. The second unit out there for the Pioneers across the midway point in this power play. Mansour's pass is intercepted. Giving some help is Brennan walking in. Volman, she shoots, and a blocker save, or excuse me, a pad save by Schaefer. Mansour has her pass intercepted high off the glass and out of the zone. 28 seconds remaining in the Pioneer power play. Alicia Sharoon out on the ice. Gives off to Gabby Hardy. Looking for Hannah Bourbon. That was a telegraphed pass, and Zahalka jumped up into the play. Katz gives it back. Mansour couldn't handle it. 8 seconds remaining on the high sticking call against Sucks. And Gabby Hardy's got a step one-on-one. She's on the right wing, throws on the brace, looking for options. She finds Hannah Bourbon, and she's just going to throw that blindly into the slot. There was nobody home. And here is a break, and it just goes over the stick of Volman. And hitting the ice now. Mansour gets there. That was a breakaway look a couple times now. GCU has had a player in behind the entire defense of the Pioneers as that puck is fought off, but both times just out of their reach, was not able to have the breakaway truly develop. A minute 30 left in this first period. Bourbon sends it up and out of play. They're going to say she was in the neutral zone. So it is not going to be a penalty. If she was about a foot farther across the blue line, that would have been a delay of game call. Instead, you can hear the linesman yelling to the Pioneer bench that they can't get a change because they sent it out from the neutral zone. It's the same unit out there for the Pios. Sox, who just served the penalty, takes the draw and loses it. Mansour corrals it around the boards. Sherling deflects it out of the zone. Schleining sends it right back in. Sharoon defense. On the stick of Moravchik, she goes right around Gray, but Gray's able to recover and get the puck to Schleining. Pass intercepted in the neutral zone. Down hard on the ice is Moravchik, right to her feet and right to the bench. Hannah Gray coming right in and is able to work through a bunch of Pioneers. Her centering pass from below the goal line is deflected into the far half wall. Collected by Sucks. She's behind the Pioneer net. Pekler got a stick on it, takes it away from her. They're still jousting for it. Gray collects, gave a little bit of help. Now she's tied up as well. Charlotte Katz helping out her defenseman behind the net. Here's a shot from the point, blocked away by Bourbon. Bourbon couldn't get it out. She was trying to get a step and maybe develop into a rush. Here's a great drag move by Sucks. Her centering pass is off the stick of Brigg and did not get to the net. That was a really unique move to be able to pull that and send it right in front. It's the top goal scorer in the division. This is bouncing off a couple of sticks. It ends up on Sherling. She's going to slowly give this towards the net. Mayberry covered for a moment, realized the Pioneers were in a change, and gets it out as the period comes to a close. 1-0 GCU after one. Shots are 14-9 in favor of the Antelopes, as it was a really nice effort for the Pioneers. They hung in there the entire time. Looking forward to a great second period. We'll have that in 15 minutes for you here on Price Productions. 1-0 after one. One back for the Antelopes, Halka. Welcome back, everybody. Period number 2 just about to start. 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. The lone goal belonging to Ava Johnson in the first. Let's check out a few of the highlights from the first period. It was a well-played period, 14-9 shots in favor of the Antelopes. This is going to be a great save from Leah Schaefer. She was on her game in that first period. A couple of nice deflected shots by the Antelopes that she was able to make some quick reactions to. Here's one of the better chances for the Pioneers. Kylo O'Leary picks off that pass and tries to go underneath the blocker, and Mayberry was able to deny a couple follow-up chances. Those didn't go either. Going to take a peek here at the goal. Watch this. Forehand, backhand, nasty. Ava Johnson. That was as good as it gets. As a goaltender, you see that cross-crease pass coming, you push across, and next thing you know, she's bringing the puck back the other way. Assisted there by Finch. Aaliyah Finch picks up the assist, the 4th goal of the season for Johnson. Here's another great chance. You saw Molly Erickson just try to go underneath the blocker. That's both the chances for the Pioneers there, trying to go underneath Bayberry's blocker, and she was able to squeeze down and pin her arms and not allow that one through. But good chances for the Pioneers. The last time these two teams faced off, we talked about it in the first period. 10-0 and 8-1 in favor of GCU. And the shots were a massive discrepancy. 74-17 and 49-9 in those two games. But again, these games also took place over a month ago at the start of this Pioneer season, and they have won 3 of their last 4, playing a much better brand of hockey, and it showed in that first period. They skated right with the Antelopes and had their opportunities, especially on the power play. Racked up 9 shots in the first period. Again, that's how many shots they had the entire game the last time these two teams matched up against each other. You see the black and purple jerseys for the Antelopes. Tough to see the numbering on it. Couple of dark colors, but looking good. Black and purple definitely belongs in Colorado, in Denver. The Pioneers will be going right to left here in the second period, left to right for the Antelopes as Schaefer heads to her cage. Start the second period will be Brennan, Bourbon, Moravchik, as well as Erickson and Pekola for the Pioneers. Graybill out there with Zahalka. On the defensive side for the Antelopes, Brigg with Sucks and Gray, the starting lineup for this second period. We are underway. One back to Zahalka. She darts around the red line and steps into the zone. That got high off the glass when Brennan stepped up, and this is going to be a quick icing. Sent the length of the ice. Oh, and it was touched by the goaltender, which is going to wave off the icing. Mayberry was confused, but they hadn't gotten to the hashes yet for it to be an icing, and she touched the puck, which alleviated it, and now we're going to get a penalty called here. Bourbon was in the area. There's an Antelope down on the ice. That's Zahalka. We'll see who this is against. It was a holding call, and it's going to be against the Antelope. Zahalka will head to the penalty box. Third power play opportunity for DU, and that's where the majority of their chances have come from. The best passing maybe we've seen on this power play, the puck movement, has been in this game. They've really moved the puck well and had their opportunities. Charlotte Katz wins the draw. Back to Pekola. Pekola, patient at the line. She'll work it around the boards. Stepping up to intercept is Schleining. But nice job by Bourbon to get there. Katz comes away with it. Olsen on the half wall. Reverses to Bourbon. Centering pass gets through. Pekola can't keep it in the zone. She retreats to the neutral zone. Brennan steps right through. Nice move by her. Gives to Bourbon. Right back off the wall to Brennan. Pekola winding up. Takes the shot, and it misses wide. Really off her angle. Mayberry there. That had a chance. Moravchik fresh off the bench. Back to Pekola off a stick. Pekola at the point. Shoots, and it's deflected by Bourbon wide. Moravchik retrieves. Up to Pekola. Pekola dancing around. Brennan sends it towards Moravchik. Backhanded try by Bourbon goes wide. Moravchik to Brennan. Brennan leaves it for Moravchik. Now it's Hardy. Across the zone. Great pass. Moravchik fires it across the crease. Mayberry makes the stop. Pekala, great vision. Found the seam pass and set up Moravchik. Couldn't get the one-timer. If she's able to one-time that, it's destined for the twine. Instead, had to corral it momentarily. Gave Mayberry a chance to get across the crease. One of the best chances, perhaps the best so far of the game. Mansour's shot deflected on the way through, sticked away. Moravchik has it in the corner. Alicia Sharoon on. She is being swarmed right now, and it's sent the length of the ice. Exceptional play there by Armin to get it out of the O-zone. 26 seconds remaining on the power play. The Pioneers don't have it set up. They've had a couple of good looks on this extra man advantage. Here's a long pass, a couple of lines long to Swyjet. Pulls it back to her forehand. Snapshot is gloved by Mayberry. 9 seconds remaining in the power play. We're over 2 minutes into the second period. Still 1-0 Antelopes. 14-11 in shots. This has been a really close game so far. And if you're the Pioneers, you have to be happy with the way things have gone so far. Yes, you're down 1-0, but they have gotten their chances. They have stayed right with the team that walked all over them just a month ago. Kyla O'Leary, good pullback move to the dot. Got around another defender, kicks it to her stick, right in front, jamming at the net, it's in! Anna Sherling ties it up. Just over 2 minutes into the second, it's 1-1. Sherling's first goal of the season. Kyla O'Leary gets the assist, and it was a good one. Got around a couple of defenders, kicked it to her stick, made the pass across, then just jamming at the far post. Sherling was able to get it past Mayberry for her first goal of the season. One to one. Really nice tip into the zone, and now racing after it is Brigg. Pekala swarm behind the net. Gray hard on the stick. You have Brennan. Through the neutral zone goes Sherling, now down to the ice. And there's going to be another penalty called. Going to be a trip on the Antelopes, and the Pioneers will have a chance to take the lead here. The fourth power play opportunity. And that has really put a damper in the night so far for the Antelopes. They've been playing a man short for a lot of the first 22 plus minutes of this game. So the Pioneers had some good looks on their first, or rather their last power play, but they didn't score on it. They scored right after. Gabby Mansour halts behind her own net. Alicia Sharoon, the second power play unit out there for the Pioneers to start this one. Sharoon goes around her own net, finds Gabby Hardy. Hardy across the Antelope line on the left wing. Sends it in front, good pass. Mansour from the high slot, trickled through, chance here, and it goes wide. Swyjet had a wide open net, but an Antelope got a stick and deflected it wide. Moravchik sends it up high. Sharoon, her shot trickles wide on the far side, and it's sent up and out of the zone. And Sharoon will go chase, closing in on a minute left in this power play. Pioneers keep the same unit out there. Different killers out there for the Antelopes. That puck didn't quite get to Swyjet, intercepted by Gray, and now she's on her horse to try to turn a man down into some offense. Mansour goes down to the ice as it's pinned up against the boards in the Pio zone. Johnson, the goal scorer in the first period for the Antelopes against the half wall. Fishes it out, she's got it. tries to pull it to her backhand and in front of the net, but it didn't happen. Intercepted here. And brought underneath the red line. That's Volin. Volman. Looks like Peter Forsberg right now, staying away from everybody with the puck on her stick during the penalty kill. Just 13 seconds remaining on the kill. The last 40 seconds have been spent in the Pio zone. Swijek finally off the ice. The Pioneers didn't get a change. They had their second unit out there for the first minute of the power play. As this is going to be an icing, the penalty is over. And then they got hemmed into their own zone, so they couldn't get a change. The first power play unit never got on the ice during that 2-minute power play for the Pioneers. And now it's an icing as well, so you have both Sharoon and Mansour, who've been out there for over 2 minutes. Reese Olson rips it deep. Lauren Bush giving chase. Slides it along the wall, almost up and out of the zone, but Bush is able to cut it off. It does squeak out eventually. Now 3-on-2 developing for the Antelopes. Trying to pull it back, but unsuccessful there. O'Connor has it trickled towards the net. Good save by Schaefer, and it's out of danger. Lauren Bush drops it off for Charlotte Katz. Great pass up to Reese Olson. Couldn't corral it. She just sends it deep into the zone. Again, Reese Olson, 3 goals in her last 3 games. O'Connor had it deflect off Bush, but eventually ends up with her anyways. Moravchik takes it away from her. A giveaway, Moravchik off to Bush. She's swinging at it, trying to get it deep, but coming up empty. Pekala wheels around in the neutral zone. Gets it past momentarily, and good vision by Gabby Hardy. She was about to dart up, and she's a forward, but realized she was the last one back and able to get to that puck, preventing a chance the other way. Moravchik. Hardy up to Pekala. Pekala across the red line and rips it into the zone. Molly Erickson after it. It's going to be collected, though, by Hewitt. And speeding through the neutral zone. Just had to slow up to reach behind her. It's Gray. Pass across. Best save of the game for Schaefer. Oh, goodness. Pushing across her crease. 2-on-2 the other way. Hannah Bourbon veers left. Coming in, sends it towards the net. It's deflected by Mayberry behind the net. Best chance possibly of the game. And it was denied by Schaefer. I know they scored earlier, but that was a cross-crease pass with 2 Antelopes right in front. They got all of it, but denied by Schaefer. Harmon right on Swijek. Forced her to make an errant pass. Trying to cut it off. Brennan slow down these Antelopes. Save for Johnson. Sends it back to the blue line. Sliding across, ripping a shot. It got to the net. Rebound covered up Schaefer. Boy, has she been good in this one. Ramsey took the shot. D-to-D pass from Schleining, and it got through a bunch of traffic. Not sure how much Schaefer was able to even see it. But the right position, then denied the rebound. Face-off one back, Sorensen walking in, and covered by a ton of white jerseys. Volman rips it around off the wall, back to her, Volman shoots wide of the net. Alyssa Volman, one of the top scorers in the league, had a grade A chance right there, but couldn't get it home. Up and out of the zone, O'Leary forced that. Now it's a 1-on-1. Sherling, the lone goal scorer for the Pioneers just a few minutes ago, has it taken away by Sahalka. That pass is off of the skates of Volman. Forecheck going now for the Pioneers. Good pass up, and it's going to deflect into the zone, and racing away is Huey. Huey has it poked away. Alicia Sharoon was able to retreat and get a stick on that. That's going to be an icing. 11:31 in the second period, 1-1. And if you were to tell the Pioneers before the game at this stage it would be 1-1, the shots would be 19-15, they would be joyous, and they should be. The improvement of this team over the course of a month, maybe it was just them having to get a win under their belts and having the confidence to play well. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're sticking with a really good Antelopes team here. 1-1, Sharoon chips it back. It's taken away by GCU. Pass in front, and it goes off the stick and away from Aaliyah Finch. A race for the puck, and down to the ice is Reese Olson. And now a 3-on-2 going the other way. Finch right in. She drags towards the net, shoots short side and missed. Olson tries to jam it up out of the zone, doesn't get to it. Armin can't corral it into the neutral zone. Moravchik works it deep and chases after it. Zahalka is there for GCU. This is deflected into the high slot by Bourbon, but Zahalka was there. Her pass up finds Sucks. Sucks flying into the zone. Now behind the net, waiting for her teammates to get on the ice as they were in the middle of a change. She finds Gray, top unit out there for GCU with some ozone pressure. Bonello across the ice, sent towards the net, deflected. Bridge across, finds Gray. Good seam pass, but not where she could get a shot off. Bonello back to Gray. From the right dot, she serves one up through the blue paint. Nobody was there. Pekala hemmed in, she loses her stick, and now she's holding her hand. Pass in front, deflected, didn't get to the net, and it's intercepted. Brennan, a couple of nice defensive plays. Whiffing on that shot is Bonello. Brigg gives it back, shot towards the net, deflected on the way through. Pad save for Schaefer. Hannah Bourbon is going to send it down the ice. They're going to call icing here, which is a bit interesting, is that went right over the stick of an Antelope in the neutral zone. She certainly had an opportunity to stop that puck, but they will call icing. And there will be changes for the Antelopes. That was Hewitt who had it just bounce right over her stick. But the linesman didn't think it was enough to rule off the icing. Face-off won by the Antelopes, now shoved up into the corner. 4 bodies in there, 2 for each side. Set up to the point on the far side, set towards the net, trickles through off a couple of different sticks, and oh boy, that was right in front of the net, and Schaefer made a great push to deny an easy goal. Back into the neutral zone, past the 10-minute mark here in the second period. And this works it around, over to Schleining. In her own corner, sends it up the ice, and her teammate wasn't looking, and they're going to call a deflection there, so it will not be an icing. Sharoon gives it away in a bad area. O'Leary tries to break it up. Sorensen comes away with it, and now it's set up for GCU. Shot, didn't get a lot on it. Ramsey would like that one back, as it was way wide. Swyjek putting some pressure on the puck, wheeling around. Here's Ramsey again on the one-timer. It goes wide. Volman set her up underneath the net. Playing some pitch and catch. Volman's in the center. She shoots high. Might have ramped up off the stick of Sharoon. Still loose in front. Sorensen retrieves. Back up to the point. Back to Sorensen off the half wall. Works it back around as Gray chases after it. Now it's Jenna Sucks behind the net. Has it taken away in the corner. Moravchik punches it out of the zone. O'Leary's flying and is able to cause some havoc on Ramsey. And Moravchik comes away with the puck rather. Erickson, and she scores from a sharp angle. Molly Erickson takes the lead for the Pioneers. It's 2-1. Kyla O'Leary will get the assist, her second of the game. Great forecheck is all the Antelopes going down to say, we got you, don't worry about it, to Mayberry, as that was a shot looking harmless nearly beneath the red line. And it ricocheted in from a bad angle after a ton of great chances. Instead, it's the Pioneers and Molly Erickson taking a 2-1 lead. Molly Erickson, what a big goal for her. What a big goal for this Pioneers team. Molly scoring her second of the season. Speeding into the zone, it darts off the stick of Finch. Johnson shoots, deflected, still loose, and now a cover. Johnson shot from the right dot was deflected on its way in. A great opportunity, but Leah Schaefer deserves a ton of credit. She's been on her game. 22 of the 23 shots she has faced have been stopped, and she has been under barrage at times. Zahalka across, that's deflected on the way through, tried to glove it down. Pekala ended up nearly deflecting it towards the net. Sucks. Brigg pushes up against the board. She's going to get called for a penalty. It's going to be another power. No, never mind. Shot on net, saved by Schaefer. Another save by Schaefer. Thought that was going to go against GCU, but instead a brilliant opportunity. Another shot goes high. Charging right in. There is time called, as that would have been an easy goal for O'Connor. O'Connor was fresh off the bench. A wide open net. Schaefer was down on the ice. Believe Pekala will go off. I thought Brigg had pushed her into the board, and that was the call. But they're going to get Pekala. And it'll be the second power play of the game for the Antelopes. First time the Pioneer penalty kill did a really nice job taking away the center of the ice. There was a decent amount of shots, but they were all from the edges of the zone or in tough angles, and it made it easier on Schaefer. One back early for the Antelopes. Brigg shoots high. That just kept rising as it went through. Errant pass, eventually regaining control. Zahalka, his pass is deflected on the way through. Brennan there for the Pioneers. Pushed up against the wall, and they're going to get a penalty called, and we're going to play some 4-on-4 hockey. A hooking call against the Antelopes. And with 6:30 left in the second period, we'll have 1:39 of 4-on-4 hockey. Haley Gray to the sin bin. 26-16 in shots in favor of Grand Canyon. But 2-1 the score in favor of the Pioneers. Moravchik, Brennan, Erickson, and Mansour out there for DU, charging in after a faceoff when Brennan had that go right over her stick, maybe a bit aggressive there. Battled for on the half wall, and it ekes out of the zone. Racing for it, Mansour. She's going to get there first and rip it around the boards. Graybill is right behind her. Now it comes to her stick. Graybill shoots, fending it off. Another chance, another save for Schaefer. Graybill got that high up in her shoulder, and it was right in front. The rebound was another shot from Graybill, and a glove save, and then a cover because she didn't catch it cleanly. Leah Schaefer brought her A game tonight. Bonello, Johnson, Armit, and Ramsey, the unit out there for GCU. Hardy has the puck after a Swyjek face-off win. Alicia Sharoon and Molly Erickson, the other two Pios out there. Swyjek almost able to punch that away for a breakaway. Ended up on the ice. Sharoon tried to exit the zone. What a pass by Sucks right in front. A chance, and it's still loose. Another chance on her back. Where's the puck? It's in the net right now, but the whistle was blown dead. Leah Schaefer pulling another magician's act to keep that out of the net. We've seen quite a few scrambles, and you have to give credit to the Pioneer defense as well. They've been able to clear the pucks in front on the rebound opportunities after the second try oftentimes. As now Alicia Sharoon heads back towards her own net and narrowly gave it away. Swijek punches it into the Antelope zone. Schleining from her own end was looking for Josset. Swijek read that one perfectly. 22 seconds until the Pioneers will have Pekala exit the box and have a short power play. It'll just be 21 seconds as there's 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. 15 seconds remaining on the Pekala Minor, 36 on the Gray. O'Leary, Sherling, Mansour, and Brennan. Zahalka, Braybill out there. That's the defensive unit for GCU. Braybill wheels around her own net. Sherling can't catch up to her, and now numbers going the other way. Braybill's flying. She cuts towards the center, and she couldn't keep the puck on her stick. It just eluded her. O'Leary comes away with the puck, and they're going to have numbers fresh out of the box. Pekala, she goes straight to the bench. O'Leary cutting to the center. Sherling finds herself alone in her backhand try. Mansour shoots, and it's blocker down. Rebound is going to get covered. Swijek was poking away. Interesting look there as Pekala came out of the box. She could have joined the rush, made it a 4-on-2. She went straight to the bench. Pioneers end up getting a couple of good looks anyways. 8 seconds remaining on the power play. A very brief one, but it's the fourth of the game for the Pioneers. And the referee talking with the Antelope bench. Not sure what that was about. 4:37 remaining. 2-1 Pios. Here nearing the end of the second. Ramsey slings that off the glass. And out of the zone, Swijek comes right back in. On the half wall, able to recover. Brennan couldn't get to the line in time to shut it down. And here comes Sorensen flying the other way. Sorensen behind the net, coming around. The penalty is over. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Volman collects in the corner. Has some space. She's walking right in. Backhanded towards the net. It's loose. On her back is Schaefer, and the puck squirts out into the corner. Volman back to Ramsey. Ramsey's back to Volman in a really good look, but she deflected it wide. Sorensen to Volman. Good wheel around move in the corner. Brennan steps up and intercepts. And Sherling fanned on her clearing attempts. Puck is sent towards the front of the net. And Mansour's there. Ramsey just fires it towards Schaefer. Didn't get to her. Here's a chance. And a pad save from Schaefer. She saw that one all the way. Backhanded try. It's in! Ramsey, or excuse me, Huey with the goal. Natalia Huey ties it up late here in the second period. Her third goal of the season. And Schaefer stopped a ton of grade A chances. That was just a backhanded shot, get it towards the net, and it somehow squeaked through the 5-hole. She had stopped 31 of the first 32 shots before giving that one up. Sucks has it go off of her stick as the 3-on-2 is developing for the top line for the Antelopes. Gray, centering pass, shot from Sucks, and it got deflected wide. Good block from Harding. Keeping it in at the line, the Antelopes up the pressure. Pekala collects, Sucks was right on her. And gets up the boards, and eventually to Bonello. Worked around, Sucks was trying to get it to Gray. Now she turns around, Brigg waiting, sets a bit of a pick. Now into the corner, trying to go up top. She just shuffles it back instead. Brigg couldn't come up with that one, and the Pioneers will clear. Reese Olson with 2.5 minutes left. Tries a drag move, ends up finding it again before it's poked away. It was a 1-on-2. hitting the ice, but no penalty called. Here's an Antelope. Hardy's pass to Pekala, and it's wrestled for. Bridge, who was just on the ice, nearly came away with it, and she's going to give a nice little cross-check to Pekala after that engagement. Hannah Bourbon onto the ice and onto the forecheck. Moravchik pinned against the wall. Hannah Bourbon comes away with it. Great forecheck. Bourbon has it stripped. Sent up to the top. Gabby Hardy, wrist shot deflected on its way in by Bourbon, and Mayberry saves it. Bourbon tries to go to Erickson. Didn't quite get to her, and then she finds it and sends it back towards Bourbon. On the half wall, jousting for it. Trying to poke it down the ice. Bridge, she's been out there for a long time. That whole first unit for the Antelopes, and she'll have a chance to get off now as it's sent deep into the Pioneer zone. Mansour's first to it, and she has it taken away. Some fresh legs out there on the ice for GCU, and the puck's in the zone. It's free in front of the net. Schaefer can't find it. It goes behind the net. She had no idea where it was, but Gabby Hardy did. Her pass eludes everybody's stick. This will be an icing. Zahalka racing back to secure it before Molly Erickson. Under a minute left in the second period. It's been a great game, 2-2. Shots 34-21 in favor of GCU. Pioneers have outscored GCU 2-1 here in an exciting second period. Sent towards the net. Schaefer's on her backside, and she's going to cover it up. Wrestled to the ground. That's going to be a penalty against Gabby Hardy. She threw Courtney Bridge down to the ice. And an ill-advised play there for Hardy. He's going to set up a power play for GCU. 0 for 2 so far on the man advantage, although their second one just lasted 20 seconds before it turned into a 4-on-4. Face off into the corner. Pekala pinning. Up against the boards, didn't get out. Ends up on the stick of Armand. She's got some time, sends it underneath the net. This goes to Johnson, the first goal scorer of this game. Sent towards the net, deflected on its way through, and at goal! (3-2) late in the second period. It was Aaliyah Finch, had an assist earlier, and now she collects a power play goal. The Pioneers led late into the second, but a couple of quick goals for GCU has given them the edge. So Finch with the pair of points on the night now after that goal. It's Finch's second of the season. She was in the right place at the right time. A shot that got deflected on the way through. Tons of goals this period. Pekala is racing after it, and she's not going to get there in time. It's an icing, 6 seconds remaining here in the second. And how about this? With just 6 seconds remaining here in the second period, they don't think that they're going to be able to get the puck the length of the ice, so they pull the goalie. Mayberry is on the bench. It's a 6-on-5 right now for the next 6 seconds. If the Pios can win a draw, they'll have a chance to fire it at the open net 200 feet away. Face-off won by the Antelopes, but then Pekala takes it away, tries to clear, shot is in! And the clock never started. I believe that was probably in the first 6 seconds, as the leading goal scorer for the Antelopes in the entire division, Abigail Brigg, slots home her 7th of the season. But I'll tell you what, the clock was at just 6 seconds remaining, and it didn't start. It's still at 6 seconds. And so the Pioneers are upset, saying, hey, that shouldn't have counted. The buzzer could have sounded. And that is a tough, tough break for DU. And again, that might have been under 6 seconds. It was mighty close. But a break goes the way for GCU, and after trailing 2-1 in the final few minutes of this period, they'll take a 4-2 edge to the final 20 minutes. A ton of goals here in the second period, 5 in total. 3 for GCU, 2 for the Pioneers. It's 4-2 Antelopes after 2. You're watching Price Productions. We'll be back here in 15 minutes for the third period. Welcome back, everybody. Third period of action. Cup coming here, 4-2. GCU leading the Pioneers here on Price Productions. Let's check out some highlights from a goal-filled second period. 5 goals in total between these two sides. Kyla O'Leary, look at her kick it to her stick, works it across, then just banging away. It is Sherling who slides it home for the goal, and the Pioneers tied it up early in the period. Then after a ton of pressure, as we're going to see a save here from Leah Schaefer on a good chance for GCU, coming right in. Gray was flying, cross-crease pass. What a save. Look at that push. And the Pios go the other way. There was a ton of chances for GCU before this turnover, and watch this goal. Below the line, it goes off the back of Mayberry and in. Molly Erickson cashing in. It put the Pios ahead with 7 minutes remaining in the second, but GCU was able to bounce back. They were swarming on the power play, and there was multiple times during this period that we saw just that. Looking at Schaefer on her backside, but the puck staying out of the net. This was the second goal that tied it up for GCU. Just a weak backhander, and Schaefer couldn't find it. Found the low corner, and then GCU in the final 30 seconds had 2 goals. This gets batted down. Tough deflection. Not much Schaefer can do about it. As you can see, Pekala was trying to catch it, and it ended up deflecting right into the blue paint. Nobody was there. And then with 6 seconds left, it was a really bizarre play. With 6 seconds left, GCU, after an icing, emptied their net. They put 6 skaters on the ice. Didn't think the DU would be able to shoot at the length of the ice to get that free goal. They won the face-off, or rather it was jostled for. And eventually, Abigail Brid came around and had a great short side shot and buried it to make it 4-2. But the thing is that there was only 6 seconds left, and the clock never started. And to be fair, it was probably right around anywhere from the 4 to 7 second mark. Wasn't counting in my head because thought it would be going there. So it probably would have counted anyways, but there certainly was an argument for the Pioneers saying, hey, that was farther than 6 seconds, but they didn't get that call. So the Pioneers, who, again, the last time these two teams played over a month ago, it was just a demolition derby for GCU. 10-0, 8-1 were the 2 final scores. And the Pioneers found themselves ahead late in the second period there. And they have played a good hockey game. They've been outshot 36-21. Those shots were really close before the onslaught at the end of the period for GCU. All right. Everybody's out on the ice. We're excited for a final 20 minutes here on a Thursday night. And the Pioneers will be back in action again really quickly. They'll face Montana State tomorrow morning at 11:40 a.m. That game will be at Family Sports Center, not here on the campus of Denver University. They're doing some work on the ice in the corner, far left side of the ice. They're cleaning the windows, they're scraping the ice. They're doing everything over there. They even in between periods ripped off one of the advertisements right there next to the bath fitter in front of the penalty box for the Pioneers. They ripped off the advertisement in between the periods. It is now sitting in the penalty box, which is the Pioneers' penalty box. If they take a penalty, there will be a Pioneer hanging out with that advertisement tarp. I don't even know necessarily what that's made of. And they're cleaning up the boards over there all of a sudden as well. Very delayed start to this period. Mayberry slapping her stick on the ice. 20 minutes remaining, of course, in this game. 4-2 GCU. Not sure what the holdup is now. I think they're just trying to secure the door over there. I think that probably they were just chipping away because they couldn't get it shut, possibly, initially. And now they're just trying to make sure that it's stable. All right, it is. And finally, we're ready for some hockey again. 4-2. Antelopes ahead going into the final 20 minutes. You're watching Price Productions. I'm Zach Goodman. Face off, tied up, and eventually out for Sucks. Top line out there for the Antelopes to start this final period of play. They were the ones that came through at the end of the second period to put them up 4-2. Zahalka can really skate. She's on the right wing, slides it towards the net. Easy save with the pads and covered up by Schaefer. Zahalka worked her way around the entire Pioneer defense, and all of a sudden they're all just wiping every single pane of glass behind the Pioneer net. There are a ton of people cleaning it up. It's just odd looking all of a sudden. Sucks. Good spinning move behind the net. Works it up to the point. Trickled toward the net. It didn't get there. Deflected right in front by Brigg. She didn't see it. It just ended up in her skate. Gray. Up to the top. Wrist shot. Goes wide. Zahalka backhands it deep, but Pekala intercepts on the half wall. Can't get it out of the zone quite yet, and it stays in. Brigg comes away with it. She's looking in the slot for Sox. It works through her and deflects all the way up high. Shot deflected away. Bourbon in the shooting lane. Erickson clears. This is going to go the length of the ice. They're not going to call icing, as the linesman thought Brigg could have gotten her stick to it. She spins around behind her own net, dumps it off for her defenseman, and gets off the ice. Here's a giveaway. Sherling almost found Swijek, who was all alone. Swijek has the puck beneath the goal line. Her pass intercepted. O'Connor comes away with it. O'Leary, great stick. Sherling has it and loses it, or a chance would have developed, an odd man situation. Sherling after it as it trickles into the Antelope zone, and O'Connor's going to send it the length of the ice. Not going to be icing because they win the race to it. Jostled for behind the net. Mansour's there, and it gets tied up in the net. Crick tried to send it around, and I think it just got stuck in the net on the side of it. So we'll get a whistle, and the Pioneers are going to change forwards. I don't think they were ready to, as Katz, Olsen, and Bush head onto the ice. Quickly into the face-off circle. One back by GCU, over to Schleining. Schleining looking to shoot, deflected on its way through, puck still loose, now covered. Schleining was looking for the deflection, she got it. But Schaefer was able to stop it. Face off into the half wall, and Pekala comes up with it. What a move there, a dangerous move, and eventually gives it away. She could have had a free pass to Mansour, who was waiting for it. Pekala still tied up. Works it along the half wall and is able to clear the zone. That was all her 1-on-2, and watch out, Reese Olsen. Almost had a step. Gabby Hardy didn't get all she wanted on that, and there's going to be an icing call. Reese Olsen was so close to being sprung on a breakaway. She reached out with one hand, tried to corral that pass, but couldn't do so. Same unit out there, in terms of forwards at least, for the Pioneers. Hardy and Brennan on defense, and we've seen Hardy play both forward and defense this year. She sends that towards the net. A long wrister blocker away. This is through Crick, and ends up in the corner. O'Connor goes through a ton of Pioneers before Katz back check. He's able to break up the play. Here's a giveaway. Volman has it in the near side corner, and she's going to give it away to Brennan off of a skate to Katz, and the stick, or rather the puck, eventually ends up with Brennan anyways. Olsen across the red line. She'll send it deep, and the Pioneers will get a change. Charging right in, Brennan putting some pressure on. Moravchik nearly collided with her. Bourbon steps up and intercepts. Bourbon on the left wing sends it through the crease. Molly Erickson scored earlier today. That got through Mansour, and here comes Volman. Brennan back checking, and she's able to get the job done. Volman tried to put it around her, found some open space with the puck and was going to chase it down in the slot, but a desperation swing and was able to clear it out of harm's way. Bourbon muscled it through and towards the net. Mayberry sends it into the corner, now worked around. Eventually to Ava Johnson. She opened the scoring tonight. Armin. She's in front all alone, down to the ice, no call. A 2-on-1 was developing. Armin was behind the entire defense, and if she didn't hit the ice there, Birch there, that would have been an excellent chance. Finch scored earlier in the game. She'll rip this deep and chase after it. Still in the zone, stepping up with Bonello to keep it there. Walking in, Armin shoots, and it's wide. Chance on the rebound, set towards the net. On her backside now, Schaefer. She has time to recover. Wheeling around, right pass right in front. What a stop! Leah Schaefer is a brick wall. She has been under siege at times today and has stepped up, saving 37 of 41 shots. It's 41-21 in shots in favor of GCU now. They have really started to pull away from the Pioneers in that category. It was close in the middle of the second period. Hardy has it stripped off her stick. Left off, centering pass was looking for Gray, who was open on the near side. It didn't get through. Pioneers trying to establish some offensive pressure. They haven't done so much yet here in this third period. They had some decent time in the second period spent in the Antelope zone. Gray underneath the net was trying to send that through the crease. Deflects back to Zahalka. Zahalka retreating into her own end and gives the puck away. Gabby Hardy trying to tie it up while her teammates tag up. And eventually sent deep by Bridge, and the top unit for the Antelopes comes off the ice. Racing to the puck. Kirk is there. Crick is there. Up to the point, never got through. Hardy stepped up and blocked it. Katz punches it out of the way. Scherling's racing after it. Didn't quite get there. Here comes Katz into the zone 1-on-2, and she's going to throw it into the corner. And as the Pioneers get a change, Ramsey behind her net. Good move to get away from Katz. Another spinning move. She's creating space for herself. And then gives away the puck. But Zahalka is there to collect the deflected pass. Now springing forward. A 3-on-2 as it goes off the stick of Bridge. Courtney Bridge, that is. Abigail Bridge. The S is the main difference between those two. Deep in the zone. Fought 4 on the half wall. 13-17 remaining here in the final period of play. Briggs shielding off the defender. And Katz, who is tired, racing for it on the half wall. And you could tell it's a tired unit out there for the Pioneers. Good time shot! Blockered away. Schaefer on her A-game. Pekala gives it away. Brennan was there to collect. And they're going to get this to Olsen, who gets it out of the zone. Alleviates the pressure, at least momentarily. Moravchik had that push through her. Here's the shot in front. His glove down. From behind the net, took a funky hop, and fortunately for Schaefer, she was able to glove it down as Ramsey just threw it in front, and doesn't have to be the prettiest of goals. Just put pressure in front and things will squeak through. So far, anything that Schaefer has seen today, she stopped, gloves it away, rebound. Oh, it goes behind Schaefer right through the crease. Couldn't have been closer. Schaefer with another great denial low in the slot from right in the danger area. Back into the Pioneer end. Down to the ice goes Sharoon. Backhanded in front, shot right into the logo of Schaefer. She stands tall. That first shot today, Leah Schaefer has been tough to beat on. The rebounds have caused some desperation at times, but she has been really good at stopping the initial shot, and it's kept the Pioneers in this game as GCU has really turned it on in the second half of this game. Finch, and it gets through the high slot back up to the point. The slap shot deflected wide of the net. Hardy's there, squeaks away from her. Gets to Armin, wraparound try, jamming at the net. Denied by Schaefer. Stretch pass for Molly Erickson out of her reach. And that's an icing. Finch was right in front. Couldn't punch that one home. When the Pioneers, at one point in this game, had 19 shots, and GCU had just 24. Since then, they've been outshot 23-2. That's over the course of the last 13 minutes of play or so between the third and second periods. It's been domination after DU was right there with them the first half of this game. In fact, leading through the first 35 minutes. That pass was taken away. Moravchik is be able to get it to Bourbon. She's in, and she's just going to sling it deep. She's got to get off the ice. Pekala fresh off the bench on the forecheck. Sherling gives it away. Trying to spring up Gray. She goes right around Hardy. Backhanded try, denied by Schaefer. She finds the rebound, backhanded into the front of the net, and Hardy intercepts. Swyjet can't come up with it. Here's Abigail Bridge. Good move to the high slot. Pass to Gray. Gray shoots, and a pad save. Might have been trying to pass it across, but ended up in the pads. Back up high. Here's a wrister, and it's loose in front. Diving is Schaefer, swinging and missing. Bridge had a wide open net with Schaefer on her stomach. Now Kyla O'Leary sends it right around Zahalka. The Pioneers have been on their heels for quite some time now. Here's Abigail Bridge on a semi-breakaway, drops it back, and Sox has it denied. What a drop-off pass from Abigail Bridge, but Schaefer read it, made a fantastic stop. Here's a wrist shot, it got through, gobbled up again by Schaefer. The 50th shot on net for GCU, denied. Past the halfway point of the third period, nobody scored yet. In the frame, got through. Brennan, that pass jumped over the stick of O'Connor, who was all alone on the doorstep. O'Connor funnels it deep. Mansour intercepts, was looking to go behind her own net, got cut off. Throws a nice redirected pass to Brennan. She was looking for Bush. This is going to trickle all the way back towards the net, where it's finally picked up by Graybill. And this is going to be icing. The Pios in this third period haven't gotten anything going. Trailing by 2 goals, they need to pick it up, and they need to pick it up right now. Here at Magnus Arena, home of the first college hockey program to get to 10 national championships, the Denver Pioneers. The ACHA Club women's hockey team playing tonight, trailing 4-2 to the Antelopes with just 9 minutes remaining. GCU looking to try to get back over 500 and a 4-game losing streak. The Pioneers, after winning 3 in a row, lost to CSU last week, and they're trailing right here. Gabby Hardy, O'Connor's all over her. Katz, one-touch pass off of Olsen's stick to Bush. She's across the red line, 1-on-3. She'll rip it around the boards and get off the ice. Grabbing that puck there is Nelson as this is pushed towards the net. Taken away. Here comes Schleining through center ice. Has it taken away by Erickson. Erickson fighting her off and is able to get it deep. 3 Pioneers charging into the zone. Ramsey rings it around and alleviates the pressure. Here's a race for the puck. Could be an icing. They wave it off as Sorensen was able to win that race. Pekala poked off her stick. Slap shot. Missed everything. A high riser wasn't close. Pekala got it around Sorensen, but it's intercepted. And the Pioneers are going to have to tag up. They had multiple players offside. That's a really nice pass, but Volman couldn't handle it. Right back into the zone. Ramsey walking in, shoots, and it's deflected high. Pekala got a stick on it. Bourbon couldn't get it out. Into the skates, 2-on-1, Shirley and Swijak, and a great play to break it up. That was the opportunity that the Pioneers have been looking for quite some time. But Schleining was able to break it up on the 2-on-1 before it really ever even got started. They had a ton of time for it to work though. Ava Johnson fighting for it behind the net. That's taken away. Brennan. Graybill shoots and a save and kicked into the corner. Said Graybill, that was actually Bonello on the shot. Up atop the top of the circles, that pass eludes everyone. Hewitt scored earlier in the game. She chases it down. Really nice pass there. Angled off, and Brennan makes a nice defensive play. Shoves the Antelope off the puck. 2-on-1. The Antelopes are getting a change, and I don't think Brennan knew that. She just slapped it around. That's going to allow them to retain possession for the top unit coming onto the ice. Sox fishing for it. Couldn't come away with it. Her and Brigg both on the ice. O'Leary taps it ahead. Now she races for it. She's in with Katz. A little bit of a 2-on-1. O'Leary's in. Now behind the net. Waiting for reinforcements and couldn't get it through. Sharoon steps up into the play. Now behind the net. It's ringed around. And it looks like GCU might survive that quick chance developing for the Pioneers as it's sent back into the zone. This entire period, DU has not gotten set up at all in the GCU zone. Feels like they're going to need a chance off the rush or maybe a power play, and this could be dangerous. Watch out, Sucks is in all alone. Sharoon's right on her, tying her up. Shot and a goal! (5-2) GCU. Shucks drove it in deep. She was all tied up by Sharoon. It would have been a power play, but instead it's waved off because Courtney Briggs has buried the puck to make it a 3-goal deficit. That's just Briggs' second point of the season, both of them goals. That was a dangerous play, and Sharoon, I said it would have been a power play. Quite honestly, it probably would have been a penalty shot. Some type of rule change. The GCU wanted a substitution of some sort, but they can't do it. I'm not exactly sure what just happened there. I am not aware. Anyways, 5-2, 5:21 remaining here in the third period. After a 2-1 lead for the Pioneers, it's been 4 unanswered for GCU. A couple of late goals in the final 30 seconds of the second period really springboarded this team. It's in front of the net and covered by Schaefer. Sharoon was all over Sucks into the zone, and Schaefer was able to make the initial stop, but then the puck was just left sitting there with a wide open net, and Briggs tapped it home. Pekala fumbling with the puck momentarily, was able to get it to Erickson. Worked it through, more of Chip. Has it taken away. Erickson stepping back up into the play. The goal scorer just recently. Briggs sends it deep and gets off the ice. Gabby Hardy beneath the goal line. Looking for Erickson. It's intercepted. Walking right in. Backhanded pass hit front. Was looking for Crick, but it didn't get there. Now Hannah Bourbon going the other way. Bit of a 2-on-2. Poke checked away from her, but Erickson is in the vicinity. She's shoved up against the wall. Hannah Bourbon there to reinforce. Fishing for it in the skates of Erickson. Worked up the half wall. Sorensen tied up. And now Volman comes away with it. Good pass, one-on-one into the zone, going right around and in front. Shot denied. Huey was looking for her second of the game. Now it's Gabby Hardy. She's all tied up. Swijek, the captain, behind her own net. That's a dangerous pass, and it's intercepted right into the high slot. Backhanded try, and Schaefer denies. Bad giveaway. Created another golden opportunity. And Ramsey's backhander was stopped by Schaefer. Under 4 minutes remaining now. 5-2 GCU. Again, at one point, the shots in this game were 24-19 in favor of GCU. They're now 56-21. 32-2 since that mark. The Pioneers played with them for a while, but it's been all GCU the last 20 minutes. Good intercept there. Pekala stepped up into the play. Moravchik racing ahead. She's the top scorer for this Pioneer squad. 4 goals, 4 assists, leads the team with 8 points. Here's a long pass, intercepted. As Swijek was standing on the line, Ava Johnson was trying to get behind the defense. Finch, left dot, sent towards the net. It's loose and covered up. A low shot, pad save, right on the doorstep. Ava Johnson was going to try to jam it home. But with her blocker hand, Schaefer covers. 58-21 in shots. This game was maybe a bit unexpectedly really tight through the first 30 minutes, and then it's been a complete turnaround as GCU has dominated. Since the start of this game, off the post! Sucks, tried to go far side. Glanced off the outside of the post, Brigg alone behind the net. Centering pass right in front and denying Gray. Schaefer has made so many big saves in this game. That was the 60th shot that's gotten on her. Tonight, she's been under siege. Brigg across the blue line is able to find Sucks, but she couldn't corral that pass. She would have been in the slot available. Look at that skating from Gray. She's putting on some brilliant moves. She sends it over to Bonello. Bonello sliding right in, and it's a save from Schaefer. Right off her logo. Gray works it around. Briggs centering pass, and Sucks couldn't get a lot on it. It's blocked away on a slow shot. Here's a chance for the Pioneers. Lauren Bush coming in one-on-one. Olsen had to get off the ice, so a weak shot is easily deflected away. That's the first shot in quite some time, though, for the Pioneers. Hardy intercepts. Hardy into the zone. Gabby Hardy on the left dot, shoots high, and it's gloved down by Mayberry. Hannah Bourbon, centering pass, didn't get through. Gabby Hardy was wide open in the slot. Same with Moravchik. It was a 2-on-0, but didn't get to them. And it's sent up and out of the zone as Sorensen chases it down. That was Mayberry really fighting off that shot. It was something near her ear hole. She did a nice job not going down early into the butterfly. Stayed patient, stayed standing up, was able to deny a good shot. Hardy has her pass intercepted. To Halka. Puck jumps into the slot where it's intercepted by Moravchik, but then Volman comes away with it. She's skating everywhere, to the front! And she didn't get it on net. She was trying to dance around everywhere. Looks like a figure skater there with the move she was putting on, spinning around. Some good skaters on this GCU team. Feels like they just have that extra step over the Pioneers, again, especially the last 25, 30 minutes of this game as we close in on the finale. Just 20 seconds remaining. This might be an icing, it will be. Urban, despite her best efforts, could not get there in time. 5-2 GCU. (61-24) in shots. Pioneers built some momentum off some early power plays. Got some really good looks. Moved the puck well tonight. It's a Halka's shot. It is saved by Schaefer. He was looking for the 5-hole. She denied it. 6 seconds remaining in this one. Crick has it, and that is going to be it. 5-2 the final here from Magnus Arena. A really nice effort from the Pioneers. This is a team that they got destroyed by a couple of times earlier in this season, and they played right with them the majority of this game. The final 20-25 minutes were really dominated by GCU, and that was the difference. They scored 4 unanswered goals across the final 27 minutes of this hockey game as the Pioneers led for a decent amount of the second. So they are going to fall to 3-11 on the season. That is the Pioneers. The Antelopes of GCU improved to 6-5. They're back over 500, and they end a 4-game losing streak with the win here tonight. Back in action early tomorrow. Not a lot of rest for these Pioneers. They'll be at Family Sports Center. Puck drop at 11:40 a.m. You could catch all the action right here on Price Productions. And we thank you so much for joining us today. It was a really fun game between these both of these teams. Well played. One of the better efforts we've seen from DU despite the loss in this one. But again, you've been watching Price Productions. The final score 5-2. For Brendan Price and Sean Rosenberger, I'm Zach Goodman, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.